Hello, freshman English students. Welcome back to class. Happy virtual day. Today is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. And today we are talking about the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. One word. This is our third day going over this book, and things are picking up. Oh my gosh. Wow. Action-packed part of the book. Lots of important information. Hopefully you guys did okay on the quiz, right? Lots of good points still available for this semester, so make sure you guys have a strong finish. And the person above me, anybody know who this is? Anybody know who this is? Okay, this is a soccer player whose name is Fred. Okay, Fred is our man of the day. Look at Fred. There he is. Hi, Fred. Wow. What a guy. Okay, Fred is going to be our guide for the day. And what are we doing today? What is Fred telling us to do? We are going to be reading. No, we're not going to be reading. We're going to be going over chapters 137 through 191. Okay. So like I said, lots of things that were action-packed. Lots of things to go over. And your homework is to read 193 through 227. And then after that, over the weekend, let's see. No, this would be when you come back on Monday. By Wednesday, we'll have you finish the book. All right, so quickly coming to a close. And then we're going to do a descriptive essay, and then we'll get to review and do another grammar unit. And then you guys are going to be sophomores in high school. Crazy, crazy world we live in. All right, let's talk about things. Okay, so first place we need to pick up on is in chapter 149. So last time we checked in, Christopher and his father had gotten into a big argument because his father figured out that Christopher had been snooping around again, right? And they actually got into a big tussle, right? Christopher kind of blacked out for a little bit, right? His mind just went blank. And when he woke up, right, he had blood on him and he had a bruise, right? And he had also ripped his dad's shirt, okay? But the book essentially is what revealed everything to Christopher's dad, right? So from here, Christopher's like, is he going to stop? No, you know Christopher's not going to stop, okay? So Christopher goes looking for the book basically the very next day, and he had heard his dad put the book in the wastebasket, the dustbin, outside in the garden, okay? And so he goes and checks in there, doesn't find it, right? So he looks all around the house, and finally he finds it where? In his dad's closet underneath a toolbox, okay? So he opens up this box, and he finds in it the book, right? Underneath the book, we have all these letters. Letters is what he finds in the box. And who are all the letters addressed to? Christopher. Okay, so this opens up a whole can of worms, right? Which is going to be unraveling for the next few chapters. And he reads, okay, one of the letters, which appears to be addressed from his mother, right? And the date is 18 months after his mother supposedly passed away. Okay. Oh boy. All right. So Christopher is a little bit confused. You know, he thinks maybe somebody just has the same handwriting. Maybe there's something going on. Okay, so he needs to know more information to find out the truth. Okay, so 6 days later, he gets a chance to read the letters again, and he reads in the letters, right, that the whole story essentially, that his mother essentially was not raising Christopher very well, okay, and that she was fighting a lot with Christopher's father, and ended up spending a lot of time with Mr. Shears, right? And so when she spent a lot of time with Mr. Shears, right, she felt better, okay, and they made the decision to leave Christopher's father and move to London, right? And now she's been writing these letters ever since. Oh my gosh, okay. And so Christopher tries to keep reading these, and all of a sudden he stops because he realizes, oh my gosh, my mom is not dead. Right, she is actually living in London, and then his father comes home. Right, so Christopher kind of goes into, he crawls into a ball, right? He's laying on the bed, and he ends up throwing up on himself. His mind once again just goes blank for a little bit, right? And when he wakes up, his dad is sitting next to him, and his dad realizes that Christopher has read all the letters, and so he confesses to Christopher. He says, this is in chapter 167, look, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I want you to know that you can trust me. And okay, maybe I don't tell the truth all the time. God knows I try, Christopher. God knows I do. But life is difficult, It's bloody hard telling the truth all the time. Sometimes it's impossible. And I want you to know that I'm trying. I really am. And perhaps this is not a very good time to say this, and I know you're not going to like it, but that I'm going to tell you the truth from now on about everything, because if you don't tell the truth now, then later on it hurts even more. So, and then Christopher, right? Okay, he doesn't really respond. His dad kind of cleans him off, and he keeps trying to talk to him, right? And he gives him this big speech. And what happens in this big speech? What does Christopher's dad reveal here? Is that when Christopher's mom left, right? Christopher's dad spends a lot of time with Mrs. Shears, right? And they kind of have a thing for a little bit, right? But then Mrs. Shears kind of calls it off, right? And Christopher's dad kind of thinks to himself, oh my gosh, like there's this dog, basically, that Mrs. Shears likes better than she even likes me. And he takes out all his frustration, essentially, on this dog. Okay? And this is what kind of sends Christopher over the top, all right? So from this moment on, Christopher thinks to himself, I cannot trust my dad anymore because he killed Wellington, all right? And then, Christopher's dad admits it. So Christopher formulates a plan that evening, right, in chapter 179. What's the plan? Well, he's got to get out of the house, okay, because he doesn't trust his dad anymore. So he goes and hides behind the shed in his backyard for a little bit, right? And after a while of hiding in the shed, Christopher's dad comes out. He's looking for him, realizes he can't find him, and he panics and leaves and probably drives to the school, okay? After Christopher's dad leaves, right, Christopher gets up, walks out, and he formulates a plan. He's going to go somewhere else, right? He ends up going over to Mrs. Alexander's house, and he hides there for a little bit. Eventually, Mrs. Alexander finds him, right? And Mrs. Alexander's talking to him for a while, figures out what he's trying to do, and then once Christopher realizes that he can't trust Mrs. Alexander anymore, he runs away, right? He goes back to his house, grabs the money from his dad's wallet, okay, and goes on his first little journey outside of the neighborhood by himself. He ends up walking to the school. He thinks maybe he can go talk to Siobhan, right? Turns out when he gets to the school, what does he find? His dad's van there. Okay, so he panics, he freaks out. And he ends up throwing up on the wall, and he says, normally after I throw up, I curl up into a ball and just freak out. But what's going on here, right? He actually is able to kind of adjust to things, and even though he's freaking out, he's still able to keep moving forward, right? He, after he leaves the school, he needs to find the train station. And how does he do this, right? He uses his really smart brain, and he kind of goes in a spiral for a couple blocks until he finds the train station, right? And even though he's panicking, okay, he's improvising, he's making adjustments. He says he wants to just curl up in a ball and, basically let his mind shut down, but he lets his mind keep going, right? And then eventually in chapter 191, we get to the train station, okay? And what makes him feel safe at the train station? He runs into a police officer, okay? And he says police officers are nice. He likes them, likes the way they look and how they make him feel safe, okay? And he does a lot of brave things, right? For example, when he's talking to the police officer, right, he tells a couple white lies. He actually improvises, right? There's times when he doesn't want to trust the police officer, but he makes a leap of faith, right? He goes against his own reasoning sometimes, which we haven't seen so much of. And he decides to trust people, maybe in a way that he hasn't decided to trust people before. And even when he gets the train ticket, okay, It's got some yellow on it, quite a bit of yellow and orange. It's like half yellow, half orange. And this would normally make him just freak out and revolt, okay? But actually, he ends up keeping it, right? Because it's my train ticket. It's the way he's able to make this leap of faith to go to London, right? And this is his plan. He makes the plan to go to London and to live with his mother, right? And it seems like he's acting very illogical in a lot of ways, but this is actually a big moment of progress for Christopher if we're noticing it, because he is kind of bending things, changing his perspective on things in a way that we have not seen before. So this is groundbreaking stuff for Christopher. Is it going to work out for him? We'll have to see. But he is making leaps and bounds in ways that maybe he doesn't even know he is. And that's where where we left off. He gets the train ticket. He makes his way to the actual train, and then he pushes a button and opens the doors, and he steps on the train. And that's where chapter 191 ends. And for your homework, make sure you read 193 through 227. Expect a nice spicy quiz on Monday, right, when you guys get back, and we'll have quite a bit to discuss. So you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you soon. Adios.